Hello, my name is Roxanne Dirksen. I'm a registered massage therapist and a Guild-certified Feldenkrais practitioner. I see people in my private practice almost on a weekly basis that complain about neck and shoulder pain, lower back pain, mid-thoracic pain, often related to sitting in a chair or driving or doing something in a seated posture for long periods of time. This video hopefully will give you some insight into how you can use your body in a way while you're sitting and movement-wise to support your weight and not to put too much strain and stress on your musculature, especially from the weight of your head, focusing on something in front of you. So we're going to use some imagery of a clock. There's a classic Feldenkrais lesson using the pelvic clock. And so if you can imagine a clock face like this, actually sitting on your chair underneath you. So it's sitting like that, and you're actually supporting your pelvis on top of the clock. So with that image in mind, think of 6 o'clock would be here, and 12 o'clock would be if you rolled your pelvis backwards and pressed the bottom of your pelvis into 12 o'clock. 6 o'clock would be more forward, and your body would be more at the front or at the front portion of your chair. 9 o'clock would be over to one side, and 3 o'clock would be to the other side. So say if you wanted to reach for something, you might come over to 9 o'clock here, or 3 o'clock over here. Now, you don't have to use a clock face on your chair, but you can imagine, or you can even draw a clock face on a piece of paper and put it on your chair, just to give you a visual image for a while you try to get this concept. A lot of people sit in a chair in a very habitual way. They often lean into one side of their armrest, or they tend to lean on the side of the desk. Some setups in office settings or your desk at home are more ergonomic than others. Some people have really great chairs. Some people have chairs that aren't so great. Nowadays we have contemporary chairs that have tried to solve the problem of people having back pain at work, such as kneeling chairs, where you're leaning kind of forward and it helps to straighten out your back while you're sitting, or ball chairs. Some people use those to keep the pelvis active. But all of these devices can still have little control over how you carry yourself in your own skeleton, in your own body, and how you support yourself relative to gravity. So with this idea of the pelvic clock, what you can do is you can find your center. Find your center point where you're most supported in gravity on your skeletal system. And you're using less of your musculature to in fact support you while you're doing your daily activities, while you're focusing on a screen, while you're talking on the telephone, driving a car. So really, the larger muscle groups of the body are attached to the pelvis. So that's why it's a wise move, so to speak, to go to a place where a lot of your upper body motion is actually controlled by your pelvis. So that if you're wanting to move forward, you roll your pelvis first. That, as you can visually watch, is a different scenario in your body than when you take your head forward to focus, say, on a computer screen or on a keyboard. So with that concept, the better you are at compressing your pelvis into all those little numbers, say for example going from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, way over here to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and down to 6 o'clock. You see how I can keep my head above my pelvis. Now, your head weighs 8 or 9 pounds. So you really do want to have a skeletal support under the weight of this 8 or 9 pound bowling ball that's on top of your skeleton. In that way, you can avoid the musculature of your neck, your back, even your lower back, tightening up and holding you with the idea that they want to stop you from falling. This is what happens in the nervous system when you become off balance, or when you take your too much of your body weight off your center of gravity or your center of mass. So once you're down at 6 o'clock, now you can come back to 7, 8, and 9. And this would be, say, if I had a telephone over here and I wanted to reach for it, I could move my pelvis into 9. And then the action of my arm, moving more from my base of my skeleton, is much easier on me than using the weight of my arm hanging on this upper part of me and the weight of my head forward like this in order to pick up a phone. So just try it. Imagine that you've got a clock underneath your pelvis and that you're making a circle all the way around, back here to 9 o'clock, 10, 11, 12. Now if you're at work and you're sitting more at a 12 o'clock place, where you can't feel these bones underneath you so much, you're kind of maybe rolled right off of them. That's actually using a lot of muscle to actually hold you up. You're flexing very, very strongly in the front of your body. So if you can just find a center place between 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock, everybody will be different. You know, our finding our center point is not the same for everyone. That's why a lot of the ideas about having perfect posture don't work for everyone, because we all live in our bodies differently. So one of the other key ingredients to this movement lesson is keeping your feet on the floor. So if you have a tendency to pull one leg up, or tuck your feet underneath your chair, or put them on the rungs of your chair during your workday, you really don't have any support even underneath the pelvis. So that when you come forward and you're like that, then the body would automatically have to go into using a lot of muscle effort in order to keep you from falling forward. So once again, having your feet on the floor, rolling between 6 and 12, being able to tilt your pelvis from side to side like this, between 9 and 3, being able to kind of compress the base of your pelvis into your chair all the way around in a sequence that flows really easily, is going to be what's going to help you orient to something in front of you for a long period of time. So once you can find a comfortable spot, say within this circle, making a smaller circle or a larger circle if you have to reach, or even come up to standing, this will benefit you in the long run, having to work at a desk.